Hello, I'm Andy, and I'm going to read to you a program called Tarot Your Love Story for the month of November 2019. And this is for you coming from Taurus. Now, let's see what the card says. And this first card that I pull will have to do with your first 15 days of November. And in that, this card will talk about your romance, whether you find a new one or the ongoing one. And for you, this is a card which says the hermit, which means you are isolated, which means that your ideas are not welcome. So say less and say little. Try to listen more. Try to tell yourself that the situation with finding a new romance is going to be very difficult in the first 15 days. And with your ongoing romance, there can be a lack of communication. So, what you have to do is to be very gentle and to be able to reach out and talk about whatever is not going right, but do it in a very gentle way. That would be my advice because an explosion can take place anytime in the first 15 days where tempers can fly very fast, this card says. Now, about marriage and family. And let's see what the first 15 days are going to say for you. It's a card that says the problems are that either you or your marriage partner is being dominating. And therefore, one problem is skipping on to another problem. And there's no end because it just keeps moving around. So, what do you have to do? I suggest that with this card, it says you can easily be the victim, which means that you are with your back to the wall. And so, I would suggest with this card to say less and do less and to be more agreeable in the first 15 days with your marriage areas and not to bring up any touchy issues. Now I'm going to go to the last 15 days of November, and we're going to look at the card which will talk about your new or ongoing romance for you coming from Taurus. Oh, this is a much better card that I pulled for you. This is a card of eternity, which means that the person you find as a new romance is going to become possibly a very long-term one, and that your ongoing romance that you have can easily move to the next stage of marriage and such happiness. The only thing about this card I would worry about is the card, the sign of Jupiter is sitting opposite to the sign of Venus. This simply means that what you say may not be understood or welcome. So, since it's you listening to me, say less and do less in the last 15 days and be more agreeable. That would be good enough. Now, what about your marriage in the last 15 days of November? Let's see what this card says about your marriage. It's a card of sunshine. So, whatever happens, sunshine will always be there, solutions will always be found, the smile will also always be there, the harmony of the angels of love will also be there. So, I'm not going to get very worried about your marriage at all in the last 15 days. The only downside can be you see on this side here, this moon here, and this sunshine here, there seems to be a little bit of an opposition going on. So try to tell yourself that since it's you listening to me, to minimize opposing anything that your marriage partner says in the last 15 days of November. That's all you need to do, and the harmony will be wonderful. And now I'm going to talk to you about your lucky days, sorry, your lucky ages. And let's see what the card says. Is it? Yes, your lucky ages. Now, what does this card say? Well, from this card, I'm going to say that you're lucky if you happen to be the ages of 19 or 28 or 37 or 46 or 55 or 64 or 73. You're going to have a fascinating aura about you where romance or whether marriage is concerned. And you'll do very well. You'll be the special one who will find ways around how to make your marriage partner happy, how to make your romance partner happy. Well, if you're not of these ages, then I have a 90-minute session, and I'll talk to you later about this, how so that I can get your next 8 or 9 years perfectly under your control. And now I'm going to talk about certain ages who have to be very cautious in the month of November, where marriage and love affairs are concerned, because anything can happen. And from this card, I'm worried that if you are the ages of 22 or 31 or 40 or 49 or 58 or 67 or 76 or 85, you have to really be very careful, whether in the area of love, whether in the area of romance, things can unexpectedly go very wrong. Just keep that in mind. Now about colors. Let's see what happens about colors. What are the colors that are going to show up with this card? It's the color of the moon, but it's a card that says the moon anyway, and you can see them. So I'm going to say that green moon you see in the corner, well, that's a reflection of the moon. So I would say wear plenty of green as much as you can in the month of November. It's going to produce the vibrations you need to attract these angels of love, whether for romance or marriage, and they'll increase the passion between you and your partner. Now about attachment. Who might you be attracted to? And let's see from this card. Well, from this card, I'm going to say Libra. So somebody from Libra could be very keen on you, or you could be keen on somebody from Libra. So keep your radar on tune and see that somebody from Libra will have a very exciting month of November with you. And now I will talk to you about your lucky direction. And let's see what the lucky direction might be for you with this card. Well, I'm going to choose the direction of east, the sign of the rising sun. And so face east for getting the inspiration to send messages to the one you love or that you want to attract. And face east when you're making your phone call to such a person or writing a letter to such a person. The inspiration of east will be immensely valuable for you. East in this card means Venus. So face east and the planet of love will become very active for you. Now, whether AM or PM would be better for you for the month of November. That's where the love can be easily flowing. And from this card, I'm going to say that the chances of you connecting nicely in love areas would be AM. That means from midnight until 12 noon. That's the time to make all the connections, have all the discussions, and get all the connections as well. So there you are. Well, that's what I have to tell you. Now, I have a 90-minute session to help you. And in this 90 minutes, I'll talk to you about your next 8 or 9 years in all areas of your life, areas of love and romance and marriage and job and business and finances and your health as well. And I'll use your date of birth and your time of birth and looking at your palms especially to give you many energies like your lucky colors and your lucky days and your lucky gemstones and your lucky directions. And I'll show you how to create the numbers, your lucky lottery numbers yourself. You can do that. And with that energy, you'll find that you're able to get into the contact of the supernatural in you. Every one of us has the supernatural power within us. How to connect to it is what I will teach you. So I charge USD 50 for a 90-minute session. And during these 90 minutes, I'll do all that for you and I'll tackle your next 8 or 9 years, age by age and calendar year by calendar year. So send me that email at andyhoro9, ANDIHORO9, the number 9 at gmail.com, and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. Until then, thank you and goodbye.